Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on the KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Channing Curtis in for Laura Papetti. Now, you were just listening to President Biden address the nation on the rise of Omicron variant in the U.S. But right now, let's get to a little bit more news before we follow back up with that. Right now, the Food and Drug Administration is set to authorize COVID-19 treatment pills from both Pfizer and Merck as early as Wednesday. The two drugs are seen as promising new oral treatments that can be taken upon onset of symptoms at home to help prevent COVID-19 hospitalizations and deaths. Merck's pill was shown to reduce hospitalizations and deaths by around 30% in a clinical trial of high-risk individuals early in the course of the illness. Well, WashDOT is releasing its travel weekend forecast as we know a lot of people will be hitting the roads this weekend. So eastbound traffic on I-90 is expected to be above average, but not at a stop and go rate Thursday through Sunday. On December 26th, eastbound drivers should avoid Snoqualmie Pass from 11 a.m. to about 1 p.m. to avoid congestion. Now, taking a live look at Snoqualmie Pass right now, you can see traffic is moving along pretty smoothly, but like we just mentioned, that might not be the case for later on in the week. Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo is in the Outdoor Weather Center with the very latest. So, Jeremy, I know it's cold outside right now, so of course we had to send you out in the element so you could tell us all at home what it's like while we're sitting inside all warm.
Yeah, that's the way I look at this. If I'm not outside, what's the point? Like, I should be at least a little bit miserable if it's miserable to be outside. But today, it is cool, but we don't have much coming down from the sky. We've got a little bit of patchy fog. You can see it starting to lift over in Coeur d'Alene. We still have some of that up and over Lookout Pass. Here in Spokane, visibility is reduced out near the airport and Airway Heights. In downtown, we're looking at about 5 miles here on the South Hill. Looks like it's about 2 miles Deer Park, 3 miles Sandpoint, 2.5 miles. You get down to Pullman, Moscow, driving through the Palouse. I just wouldn't. It's that kind of gross. You got packed snow and ice on the road, and you've got freezing fog in Pullman with your temperatures down below freezing. Most of us are still in the 20s, mid to low 20s right now. It is rather chilly as we head into the middle part of the day, but temperatures are going to continue to climb. I really think we spend a bulk of our day in the mid 20s or 20s in general. Not until after the sun goes down tonight and we're all nestled in bed do we start to see those temps climb. And we are going to climb, and we are going to get warm enough that an incoming storm brings snow then rain. Notice right now, everybody who's stopped me out in public, I went out for coffee and I had quite a few people ask, what's my best day to hit the road to the west side? I just said today, now. If you can, hit the road now. If you can't, there are some windows later this week. Tomorrow, not going to be one of them because we get a big push of moisture. We have our snow moving in. Snow overnight tonight. We'll likely see freezing mix along Interstate 90. Snow works its way out, then rain moves in tomorrow. It's a rather messy forecast, and I'll time it all out for you coming up in just a bit.
The government says U.S. population growth is the lowest it's been since the founding of our nation, and they say COVID is one of the leading factors for this decline. Now, this comes as the Omicron variant is now sweeping across the country, forcing the Biden administration to respond. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House. It looks like we're having a couple of difficulties with the sound on that one right now, but officials say the U.S. has experienced its first known death from the Omicron variant with an unvaccinated person in Houston, Texas. In the meantime, closer to home, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare ended crisis standards of care for North Idaho yesterday. So this means care for patients without COVID-19 will go back to normal. The Panhandle District was the only area of the state still under crisis standards. The state's health and welfare director says the number of COVID-19 patients is still high in northern Idaho, and healthcare systems are still stressed. But the number of patients is no longer exceeding the available resources. He says the situation is, quote, fluid and variable with the increasing number of Omicron cases. Now, starting today, Canada will once again require fully vaccinated Canadians to provide a negative test when returning. Less than a month ago, the country exempted Canadian citizens and permanent residents who spent 72 hours or less outside of the country. This comes as the CDC added 8 countries to its highest risk category. In the meantime, the National Hockey League is now making changes to its schedule because of COVID-19, postponing all games happening this week. And that means no game for the Kraken against Arizona. Starting tomorrow, all NHL team facilities will be closed through December 25th. Players are set to report back to team facilities on December 26th and resume daily testing. The NHL is hoping to resume play on December 27th. The Kraken are scheduled to play the Canucks that day in Vancouver. Now, for more information about the Omicron variant, all you have to do is text the word COVID to 509-448-2000. We'll send you a link with all of that information right to your phone. Well, still to come here on the news at noon, Lake City High School students are helping spread some Christmas cheer by giving back to those in need.